Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features...
Let me start that over again. That was a little loud.
Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, this is Otaku Movie Anatomy, breaking down and reviewing some of the best and worst in the animated film genre. Is its power level over 9,000, or is it just another Yamcha? Find out now on Otaku Movie Anatomy!
Yeah, we haven't had a dancing intro in a while.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Otaku Movie Anatomy, and we have a special treat for you today. You got Digimon Adventure Try.
Oh, I got the rave lights going on. This is great.
It's great. Dance party all the time.
Oh, man.
I'm your host, Maxwell Song, for today.
Guest host.
Guest host. But yeah, I guess they decided to try and trust me with this, and hopefully I won't disappoint, and I'm with...
I'm Yuma Ninja.
You're like, who am I? Why am I here?
No, I'm not you. I didn't forget my name.
Oh, that happened like
I was
3
just
weeks ago
reading
if you guys want to check that
something.
out. I am Chubby Bunny Michelle. Hello.
So, I guess we're going to... people have asked for this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People are
I
sick
got a
for
couple
Digimon.
requests.
Digimon Try.
I mean, it's been quite some time since we've seen any sort of Digimon material, though there have been multiple seasons. I just want to point out that seasons 1 and 2 are not the only Digimon seasons that exist. There's like 5 or 6 more that are generally pretty good, I would have to say. But we're going to focus on this new one, and everyone's super hyped on it because it's introducing the original cast. Except that they're older.
Yes.
And they're...
It's that nostalgia factor.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the Digimon Adventure one, not the one where they're... Wasn't there a season where they were... It was a Digimon thing, but it was about people who were looking at Digimon as a cartoon, and then they were living in like the real world or something? There's a whole season of that.
Is that one of the later seasons?
Yeah.
Well, there's one where it's like it's
meta.
a card game that
Yeah.
everyone plays.
Okay, that's it. Yeah,
and then they
that's
use
it.
the cards to like summon the Digimon, so that's also kind of confusing.
Good lord.
That was like during the time of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, they had like really cool like poses and stuff while they slid the cards through their Digivices, and I'm the only one that knows that apparently.
By the
But,
way, if you are watching us live, you can hop on chat, ask us any questions. I see
Yeah.
Star Drew is with us again. What's up, man?
Yeah.
Boop, boop.
hello.
And once again, Michelle will either answer your questions or she will completely ignore you.
It's hard to like slip it in sometimes. Like I'm not purposely ignoring people.
All right, so I guess you guys ready to start? You guys ready
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
down
we're
this
starting.
nostalgia
We have
trip?
started.
Yes.
Cool. So, this is a little confusing, but this is technically a movie, but also a series. It's a 6-part movie series. And they're going to break it down in America as 4 separate episodes. So, if you think about it, it breaks down to 24 episodes.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, how many movies are there going to be in Japan?
There's going to be 6 movies.
6 movies. That's a lot.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be 2.
No,
Holy
it's 6
shit.
movies.
Are you
yeah,
sure it's 6? Did
yeah,
you Google that?
I did.
Okay.
Because I was also confused, so
Yeah,
I
I
like
was super
triple,
confused.
double checked
That's
it.
weird. It's all one storyline?
It's just the whole storyline,
Jesus
except
Christ,
they break
it'd
it
take
down.
forever.
Yeah, it's a little strange that they put it in that format when they could easily serialize it. But then it's also
See, I have a theory on this because like earlier this year they kept announcing that it was
Yeah.
going to be a series, and then they're like, it's not going to be a series. I think that they couldn't get it on, or some deal didn't go through.
Oh, like they couldn't air on network
Yeah, like-
I think
television.
so.
Because-
They probably couldn't get a slot.
Yeah, because it got pushed back, and then suddenly they're like, it's a movie, guys.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Okay.
wait, what's going on?
Because it did seem, like when I was watching it seemed too episodic to have been originally planned as a movie.
Yeah.
Like the arc is too crazy. Like the arc is super long.
Yeah, because if it's like if they're trying to make just this one movie like a 2-part movie, it'd be very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this movie is this OVA is on Crunchyroll. It's on 4 episodes. Yeah. And it covers the first movie that's
It's
out
also
in Japan.
also only exclusively streaming on Crunchyroll.
Oh shit, dog! Crunchyroll Bros. Thank you.
Yeah, they got their crazy
rights.
exclusive rights, which I have to say is a pretty big get.
Yeah. Because it was the same day that it got released in theaters in Japan.
So,
Yeah, it was last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 Fridays ago? 2 Thursdays ago?
20th, I want to say. It was like the
21st
same.
is when
It
the
was
first
like the same
movie
weekend
came
as
out, I
Jessica
believe.
Jones.
Oh, God.
That's how you remember.
So yeah, you know, some of us watched both Digimon Adventure Try and then Jessica Jones.
And then he got
Good.
traumatized by Jessica Jones. Excellent.
Yeah. So, because it is technically still a movie, we're going to cover it. Let's see. It's based on Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02, which is the second season. And that was by Akiyoshi Hongo, who apparently has no real personal information online. He just like chooses not to.
And on this show, so often we look up the directors, the producer.
Yeah.
There's just no information in English, and I mean, you know, I can like read Japanese and stuff, but like it's just really hard to Google this stuff.
Yeah.
Like the internet is not so great. with that.
It's weird because it's like sometimes you get them like some of our first ones we had like a lot of information on the
Yeah.
directors, and then like the past 3
I
ones
think
there's like nothing.
Maybe only like half the production companies know how to use IMDb. Is that it? I don't know.
But this guy, he was saying, the internet was saying that like his name even might be like an anagram of like different things.
Oh, God.
Like
God.
so he's like some weird mystery director, even though his face is online. So let's see. We covered the fact that it was a 6-part movie series, and this movie earned 59 million yen opening weekend, or $4,800,000, which
It's just pretty
it's
good.
almost $500,000 basically. Which for an anime movie, I believe it tops like top 7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, even in Japan, there's a lot of huge, like the majority of anime movies flop, but this actually had a lot of bang.
Good job, Digimon.
No.
Good job.
I mean, this is the
Seriously.
first one. Maybe the second one won't do so well. We see how these things happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna release the movie in 7 parts and just watch them
Or
all.
maybe it'll be like Kenshin.
oh
It
man,
might be
we're-
the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. What was it? I think the first and the second one had like the biggest openings. It was like insane. It was just like
Because
number one for
I
a
think
long
what
time.
number 1 anime movie this year is Love Live. It made.
Oh, really?
Was it? Was it
made
Naruto?
2
Or was it
billion-
Boruto?
It was Love Live. Love Live hit the like
That-
2.4 billion yen mark.
We should
That
cover
idol
Love
love
Live.
is strong
Yeah.
as hell.
I love
so.
those idols.
But
So
actually,
anyway.
the number 1 grossing movie is the first Pokemon movie.
Really?
Oh.
Yes. So
Just so you know, guys, we
Salty
say
defeats.
Pokemans. Ironically, we know it's not. If we start
Yeah.
saying it, don't yell at us on chat.
we know they are Pokemon and not Pokemans, but we will call them the Pokemans
Pokemans.
because we are adults.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess you guys want to get into it.
Hell yeah.
Any initial impressions or anything?
Yeah.
So real quick about this movie. So I'm a Digimon noob. I didn't watch any of the stuff growing up. I think something happened where it came out and I just didn't care about that kind of anime at that point. Like there's a lot of
I think you were in
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Japan.
No, it wasn't that late in the game.
Well, no.
When did it
was
come out?
99. It was 99.
I was in America still.
Oh,
Kind
were
of.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were nice.
But I enjoyed it pretty much. And but the one thing that really got me, and this is kind of extra, is that the voice acting was really cute. Like the little dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, so cute. And that I was listening and I'm like, why does Mimi sound so familiar?
Oh, yeah.
And it's because Mimi's voice actress is the same voice actress as Lovely Muko, which is airing right now on Crunchyroll. It's
Yeah.
about a little Shiba
Shiba.
dog.
Yeah.
Shiba dog.
Which are the best dogs ever
Yeah.
in the history
Yeah.
of existence. I also forgot to mention that the original voice actors are voice acting in this also. So this is definitely, hey, we want to cash on that nostalgia, like just stack it up.
Yep.
So let's begin.
Yep.
I'm gonna split it up into episodes 1 and 2, and then do the second 3 and 4 episodes because there's quite a bit that we gotta cover. But basically, it opens with like these really ominous silhouette scenes of Davis, Yoli, Ken, and Cody being attacked, which, if you don't know, are actually the main characters from the second season, except for Kairi and TK. Which, because they're younger, they ended up being of that generation.
I totally forgot that even happened because I watched the
Yeah.
opening. I was like, what's going on? Whatever.
Holy shit, I missed that.
Yeah, so they get attacked, and that's why in the second season, or this season, you don't see them at all, which is kind of weird because this
There's
is
more characters than
yeah, this is
many
post
characters.
post 02.
The main cast, except for Takeru and Hikari, are the first season. They're the original kids, and then Takeru and Hikari are the younger siblings, and they're part of a different cast from a separate season.
Yeah. And we're gonna try to use the English phonetic names, only because I think that's the one that everyone was kind of grown up with. Because the reason this series is so popular is because it was on network television anime adaptations, which we all know, like amongst that and Pokemon, it definitely is one of the older animes that got a lot of eyes on it. So at this point, Tai and the other DigiDestined are in high school, and this is 6 years after the events of the first season, and they're not really 100% specific about when, but for the most part, they say that it's like 1 year after the events of O2, just because the Digi world was closed. So that kind of is a little confusing plot hole thing, because then if it's closed, then how did the other guys get in? And then why are they being attacked? And then, but we're not focusing on that. Tai, for some reason, is sort of in the high school doldrums, which all high schoolers go through. And, everyone is very busy with their own lives because all the DigiDestins are now becoming adults. And I guess, so this all kind of starts with Tai and his soccer game. So
fucking soccer game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
and you're like, why does this start with the soccer game? And it kind of just like opens up the fact that everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Matt has a band. It's called Knife of Day or something.
Oh my god, it was
Knife of
great.
Day.
It totally
Great
reminded me
title.
of what's his name in Daria, the brother?
Trent. The Mystic Spiral with like the two Ys.
Yeah. And then Izzy is still there, but he has to go to his parents' anniversary dinner.
Oh, is that what that was? I couldn't figure out what was
Yeah.
happening. I'm like, why is he speaking in not Japanese? And then all this stuff happens.
He tries to like speak in English, and then for some reason
Not really English, so.
it's
What
kind
is-
of
what
broken
is it?
English. It is English, but it's like so bad that you can't really
So it's like,
recognize it.
because he's ordering onion soup. All I caught was
Yeah.
onion, and I was like, was that second part soup? I was like, I have no fucking idea.
And then
what he's saying.
he ordered like a chamomile tea, but it just sounded like community.
Yeah.
It was just noises, and you're like.
But then the
okay.
first thing he orders is oolong tea, and he says udon-cha, and I'm like, that's Japanese. And then he
Right.
switches.
And then he's like something like,
this poor waiter is like, I don't know what
yeah,
you're
and
saying,
then
kid.
like he points to his mom and like she'll have like duck and something, and I was like, that's not what he said at all. That's
Also,
not
but they're in
English.
Japan.
Orange.
Why are they even? Anyway, sorry
Anyway.
guys, we're going on a tangent.
Yeah, totally tangent.
So his whole side plot is
See, he's
dumb.
busy. Basically, he's busy. He can't go. It's kind of important. Joe is super busy studying for the exams, and he's not doing too well because Joe. It's a little weird because in the second season, like Joe is totally cool. He's like really busy, but he's like very optimistic about his life. And in this one, he's just like totally beaten by
Yeah.
life. Like all of Japanese society and all the pressures of being successful, like literally he is that person personified in the
Yeah,
series.
they show him being told like all of the people who are not doing well in school are in your class or put in the back row, and he's like second like last row, and he's like,
Yeah.
shit.
There's 5 rows and he's the 4th one. But I do have something to say about that though. They're like, okay, you guys in the last row, you need to do better. I was like, why'd you put them in the back then?
Yeah, studies show.
That's exactly what I thought,
I
dude.
know. The studies show that if you sit closer to the front of the classroom, you'll pay more attention. You'll do better.
Yeah, so it's like, let me put all the D's and the F's in the back because you guys will totally study harder.
But
I was
you
like,
gotta-
It's that's
no.
like they like shame them.
It's shame. It's
Yeah.
shame. It's like shame teaching. So obviously he's feeling that pressure. You can imagine how he feels. Kari is at a friend's birthday, which is kind of funny because every time something happens, she's at someone's birthday. Like she's in the movies, like there's like this huge fight going on, and she's like, I can't come because I'm at a friend's birthday party.
She's just popular.
I guess so. And Sora, and this is the kind of cute part. Sora is still there, but doesn't really know which one to go to because the whole thing that they kind of like start introducing is like this love relationship between Sora, Tai, and Matt. It's kind of this weird like love triangle. She doesn't exactly know who to go with, but like she should have gone with Tai. But we'll discuss this
We'll discuss
later.
this.
This will be a pretty huge part of our discussion. But anyway, time continues on. While this is happening, there's a lot of weird stuff that's like happening over Odaiba. Radio signals are going haywire. Power is cutting out. No one really knows why. So we fast forward to Tai's game, and then we see Kuwagamon, which is the little pincer, like Japanese beetle.
I was
stag.
confused that everyone knew his name. Is this just like a
It's-
like?
because once
Hey, we're
again
all
for
friends,
the
Beetle guy.
nostalgia factor,
Yeah.
he is the first Digimon to appear in the first season
Okay.
of Digimon. So he's
But
kind of,
was he friendly back then?
no, he was still an asshole.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he's
But
an
it's
asshole
like a
throughout the
callback
series.
to like their first
Okay, battle.
villain-ish
Yeah.
Got
guy.
it. So this big bug comes to
This
the
big-
Digimans.
Yeah, and the Digimans. So Tai chases after him because he's dealt with this situation before, and he thinks he got it all down on lock.
It was cute how he had his little Digimon. What's it called? The little Tamagotchi
Digivice?
thing.
Yeah.
Digivice.
The Digivice.
These words. He had his Digivice on him the whole time, even though we were supposed to understand is that it has been working for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cute that he always puts it, in his back pocket
Just in
for
case,
school.
you know, and
Well,
good
they
thing
showed
he
like a
brought
little
it.
picture of him and all his
Yeah.
friends like in the frame in the beginning.
It shows that he's very in the first episode especially. It shows he's very hung up on he misses his digiguy.
His Digimon,
Why do they
his
call him
digital
Digipet?
companion.
He's very hung up on
Yeah.
missing them, and then he's kind of nostalgic for the old days and his
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
'Cause they're all separating.
He tells there's like a scene in the beginning where he tells his teacher, and the teacher's asking him what do you want to do with your life, and he doesn't really know.
The teacher who's a spy.
Well, spoilers.
What?
We're trying to put intrigue in the synopsis.
No, it's fine.
So we're gonna fast forward, and so Tai is chasing after Kuwagamon, who's just running around, and he's breaking up into little cubes for some reason, because I think it's some weird distortion or infection or mutation or whatever. And he kind of he kind of destroys everything around him. And I believe he's in the Fuji television building, which is a building that they use quite often in the Digimon series when they're in the real world. The first season they use it, so they're going to use it again here. And so he's on that building. He starts destroying all this stuff, and the Kuwagamon starts attacking Tai.
Cool.
And just as he's about to get chomped on, Agumon appears, and appears. Right?
Yeah.
And so battle ensues. He digivolves into Greymon, and he's fighting Kuwagamon, but they go through all these tunnels, and so they're teleported to Haneda Airport. And so now we're at Haneda Airport, apparently, and this is when Tai is like, how do I get to the airport? And then his teacher appears just out of the blue and is like, I'll take you there. Because he's a spy, as Michelle spoiled for us.
This is a very interesting device that they use. They introduce this spy peoples.
Yeah.
That they're explained, but it's basically how can we get all these kids together, even though they're all separated? Oh, we'll just invent this third party who will always make sure they're at the same battle together and they have all the information they need.
They're,
that was pretty
these
smart plot
adults
device.
who are invested in getting these DigiDestined together.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because, this has happened before in real life.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that these people are reacting the way that they're doing is kind of weird because it's you guys have seen Digimon. They've already come and messed a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
You know this. You've all seen it.
It's this, part of it, when they redid it, they kind of wiped some of what they had done before. And they're it's not canonical anymore. Let's just redo this.
Someone on chat just did #Pokemon Master Race. Whoa, burn! Shots
Get out of here.
fired!
This is not the stream for you,
Get out.
sir.
Oh no! No, just stay here. I haven't watched this crap either. It's fine. I mean, I watched this movie. Okay, so they get to the airport and all their little dudes.
Yeah, and so Mimi just lands in Japan randomly because it's convenient, I guess. Well, I mean, their whole explanation is oh, she came from America because she wanted to see Tai soccer game, which is ridiculous.
What she said, but really her dad
Yeah.
got transferred or something, and she didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So it was just really convenient timing on her part, very X-Men or whatever. And so there's this great scene where he comes over and he's like, hey, I'm here. Oh, what am I gonna do? He's messing all this stuff up, and Greymon's hurt. And then Matt goes, hey, Tai. And all of them are there, lined up with all their Digimon. And there's this triumphant scene of them all being together, except for Mimi and Joe. And you just see their Digimon, sad and alone. And Mimi is driven to the airport. So as they're fighting, two more Kuwagamon come, a big battle ensues. And Garurumon is I think he's fighting. Garurumon, sorry, is the wolf guy.
Oh my
He's
god,
fighting
there's just so
one of them.
many Digipet
Yeah.
names. Sorry,
So-
Digimon
so-
names. I don't
But
think
this
it's
is
really.
kind of if you've never watched Pokemon, I feel this
Yeah,
is
you
kind of what
wouldn't
you feel
know.
like. How many Pokemon are
well, the Pokemons kind of say what they do, so it's a little.
They do repeat their names a lot.
say
They
their
don't
names a
really say
lot.
what they do.
Which is good because it's confusing.
Because if you're
But-
a Butyl, what is a Butyl?
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's a Pikachu.
But I mean,
Something
if you
super
think
cute.
about it, every time that the Digimon evolve or whatever, or like they talk to him, they say, "Your
Digivolving
Digimon
too."
name. This is your name." Before
That's
they
true.
show him,
They
Yeah.
do
They're
a little
like,
call out.
Agumon, you're Agumon. You know,
Yeah.
like,
But also, they basically announce it. Well, in the old ones, they would announce it. They'd be like, Metal Garurumon, or like, you know. So, but they also talk, which is way more
Yeah,
convenient than being normal Pokemon. Anyway, we can get into that later. Anyway, so this giant mysterious hand comes over and crushes the last bad dude, bad beetle guy. And you're like, oh, what just happened? Convenient.
So they all fight. And then they see all of the Pillar Pokemons come out. They're all reunited. It's great. And then the third episode, or second episode kind of ends.
Well, the second episode ends with Mimi coming over and
that's right.
being like, hey, here's some gummy candies.
Perfect.
That's
how that ends.
Episode
you know,
ends.
like, okay, let's talk about these gummy candies. She's like, oh, these are my favorite candies. She proceeds to open it and give them each one.
Which,
And I was like,
the
that's
Digimon?
so weird.
Oh, did
like,
she? I thought she
Yeah.
gave the Digimon like the whole packet, and they were.
yeah, the Digimon share one pack.
Yeah, but it's like she
These
literally,
gummies are
like,
super important in this
Yeah, she literally
episode.
puts them in their hand. I was like, that's like opening Haribo and be like,
Yeah,
here, let me give
here's
you
one.
this one gummy
Here's
bear.
a Skittle. Try
Yeah,
the one
exactly.
Skittle.
Yeah. So basically, the rest of episode 3 and 4, kind of, they get together. They try to figure out why, this attack is happening, and while doing so, go through a lot of emotional duress because
Yeah.
Tai's like, oh, I'm scared to fight again because I'm going to damage this Earth. And there's a lot of tension between him and what are you calling him?
And Matt.
Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yamato.
only saw the Japanese version, so I'm like, Yamato, who's Matt?
So basically, the third and fourth episodes is they figure out why this is all happening. And so there's like this weird, I guess, distortion in space, and these new Digimon that are coming out are way more aggressive and out of control and called infected Pokemon. And that's the reason why everything's going haywire, and that's why they're not actually coming through gates, which is a very specific way of getting into the Digiworld. And so then you meet the mysterious, like, Men in Black types, and I believe, what are they called? He has, like, a really huge, ridiculous name. But anyway, things start to fracture with Tai and Matt when they find out that all these people now in the news, because of all the destruction, are like, Digimon are like the most evil pieces of shit on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, they're like the worst thing since Hitler.
Whoa! Throwing out the Hitler.
Are
real
they
quick.
really? Are they really Hitler?
I don't
They
know.
never say that in the
It's-
show, guys.
They don't.
This is
They
just
don't.
Max talking.
I mean, clearly they wouldn't specifically in Japan refer to Hitler, but so basically, Matt is like, we gotta tell people that they're not evil, and these are our Digimon friends, and Tai is very hesitant as to why that is. So eventually, these two mysterious Digimon. Oh, another character that they haven't introduced is a transfer character named Miyako, and she is looking for something. Eventually, you find out that she's one of.
It's a Digimon.
She's looking for a Digimon, if that wasn't absolutely
Absolutely, yeah.
clearly obvious.
Yep.
And one of the two Digimon, one is called May. There's another one that they don't introduce. And as they're walking around in the Ferris wheel, what
It's
is that place?
they're in Odaiba. It's just like a real place that exists.
Yeah.
It's actually in the same area as the Fuji television station.
Yeah.
So I have been there. I think we've been there together. There's a big Ferris wheel. It's a big like amusement park area.
Okay. So
Amusement shopping.
yeah, they all go over there. Izzy makes this device that like allows him to see like distortions, and so Tai and Matt go and search for all this stuff near that area, and they kind of like suss things out. You find out that Tai is actually the reason that he's so weirded out about everything is because Tai has seen all this destruction, and he doesn't know whether or not him fighting and causing all this destruction is.
Yep. So they
Yeah.
they end up meeting the last the crab guy, cockroach guy. What's his name? They end up seeing this guy again.
Yeah.
He's like in Gundam form, which we'll talk about that in a
Yeah,
second.
he's
And they
called
fight him.
Alphamon,
There we
and
go.
they fight him, and they form together. Tai reluctantly says, "I'm going to fight again," and
Right.
they form together into like this ultimate thing.
So
They
anyway,
defeat him.
spoilers. They beat him,
Sure.
and but they don't. They kind of beat him. He escapes. Basically, the end of the movie. So
End of the movie.
that was our recap. Sorry, it was a little long, but it is 4 episodes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, and that's only the first of 6 movies. So
Yeah.
that's insane.
So the second movie is going to be out in March of next year, apparently.
Wow. All right, so Max, you're gonna cover themes.
Yep.
So, a thing that they cover, it's like, this is very too, I guess, more realistic. You know, it's just basically teenage angst plus what if Digimon had teenage angst. So, you know, it's all of them turning into adults. And I think Tai's whole thing is that there are now real life consequences. As before, when he was a kid, he could just be courageous and just do whatever he wanted to and destroy whatever the hell they decided to destroy, which was a lot of stuff. But now he's realizing that people are getting hurt. So whether that's a good thing or not, but they're the only people that can do it. And so he's fighting with himself for that.
I think it's stupid subplot.
I feel like if I did have a problem, it would be this, because it was not really believable. In
Yeah, it's like, it's not a real problem. Like,
and plus, it's like, he's done it before, and it's just like, yo, why are you, like, upset now?
Yeah.
so he's upset at the destruction, but he doesn't want to do anything about it, is basically what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
so he's basically ineffectual. I don't know what's the point? He's been fighting for 3 seasons of Digimon, apparently.
But it's also like, there's literally no other solution except for those guys. Like, and Tai especially, because he's the only one that can make the super powerful Omnimon, which is the dude that they fight.
It just, I was just like, wait, why now?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But there's also the fact that, like, you know, Digimon is a very optimistic series, and so they have this whole belief that, like, all dreams are going to come true. Like, whatever you guys put your mind to, you can be it, and you can grow, and, you know, achieve the things that you're meant to do. And so they kind of make it in a way so, like, Joe is the prime example, is, like, things do not go the way that you had imagined when you were
he got
kids.
super soul crushed.
Yeah.
Dreams don't exist.
He doesn't even,
Dreams
Joe's
are
not
dead.
even in the last battle. He's studying, like, you see him at the very end after they finish the battle. He sees, like, he's looking at his computer, he sees a recap of what's happening, and he just ends it and goes back to studying. I'm like, whoa, that's Stone Cold!
Yeah, that's totally
Stone Cold!
It's ridiculous too, and that's another kind of ridiculous thing, is because it's like these Digimon are destroying things.
Yeah.
Like, that's, if there was any point where you're like, maybe I could study later, that would be one of those things.
See, yeah. This one thing is just like, yo, your city's getting, like, effed up. Like, no, I'm just gonna go study.
Yeah.
Why? What if there's no college to go to?
No, there's no city anymore. Everyone's dead.
I mean, I guess they are trying really hard to show what happens when becoming an adult.
Yeah.
You're done being optimistic. You don't care about things the way the way you used to.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like you said, it's just like them growing up and having kind of like to deal with consequences. And I get it, like they have to kind of show that with their kids,
Show a
they didn't
conflict.
think about it, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now that they're young adults, they have to.
They're
think about
adults
it.
because they were in high school.
They're young adults.
All right.
Yeah.
Jeffrey P agrees with us. That's right. Left field. This whole
That's right.
This whole tie
It
thing.
is, yeah. It is a little strange. So I guess friendship budding into romance is one of those things. Like
yeah.
now, you know, before there was kind of like hints at like they have crushes, but now it's like, hey, this is like relationship time. This is like when we got to make some hard decisions about our future. And obviously that's between Tai, Matt, and Sora. And then now there's kind of this weird thing with like Izzy and Mimi.
Yeah. What is that? Were they already?
Yeah.
Yeah. When she
No.
when she shows up, she's
I
all
feel
like,
like
hey.
that was not
That
never
was
a
never a
thing.
thing.
That was never a thing. But
So
it
they
was
just
very
invented
like, oh.
In the movies, they kind of implied that Joe and Mimi kind of have a thing
Yeah.
going
Wow.
on.
See, but I see that from like the series.
Yeah, that's from the
Yeah.
series. And so this new thing with like it's kind of, it might not be like he has a specific crush, but he's more like, I guess, aware of women now. I guess that's kind of what
Yeah,
they're
Izzy does
trying
have
to say.
a whole situation where he's looking at clothes online. I'm like, this is a weird scene. It took like 5 minutes of him talking about him buying clothes for himself
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
But I mean, he deserves love too. He's always been a little weird. And the last one, which I guess is the most important, is that people change. So, and you know, Tai even says himself, he's like, Matt hasn't changed, but maybe I have.
Oh,
So,
poor babies.
yeah.
I guess that's kind of true, yeah, because Yamato was like kind of just hot-headed and like.
He's still
He's
the
still
same
got no-
asshole
Still
that I
same
hate
dude
so
from the
much.
series. I didn't hate him.
I
but-
don't hate Matt. He's an important part, and I think he's like a good balance, but I hate him.
I don't know why this part was it was really sweet to me. It was because it was a little surprising. But whenever they do decide, when Tai and Matt decided to join to make their Gundam or whatever together and fight for real at the end, I don't give a shit. But he kind of like hooks arms with him, and they're very like kind of hug each other and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like it's really cute, but you know,
they had that kind of
they
friendship.
had a moment.
Like even when they're little kids, like they hold hands.
and they show a little
back
flashback to when they were
it's-
kids.
The animation is like totally different, and it's like very clear that they just took a screenshot.
Oh,
from
they
the
did? I couldn't tell,
Yeah.
actually.
Because it's like the art style is like, you know, longer and weirder, and then they have the weird like Digimon like normal proportions that you know with their heads being like way too big. But yeah, it's a very cute moment. Yeah.
So, Yume, you're going to
so
tell us about nostalgia.
We're moving to the most important part of Digimon Adventure Try, which is nostalgia. Does it or does it not hold up? So let's go ahead and start with the bad. So the bad in Digimon Adventure Try is the animation. It was atrocious. It was so bad.
It's a bag of dicks.
Like,
it's real bad. It's real bad.
Trust me, guys. It's so hard for me to admit this because I love Digimon. The animation was crap. It was so horrible.
Okay, so that scene when Matt and Ken are linking arms, and the good thing is they could have just had exposition and been like, we should be, we're together friends and explain everything and have all the feelings. But instead they were just like, let's tone it back, let's give them looks. Except that they're just giving each other like the derpiest faces. They're just like,
So this animation, it makes me sad to say this. It rivals Sailor Moon Crystal.
Oh, no!
It's really bad.
It's so bad.
Oh.
And
So there's some scenes, the fight scenes are like decent. Like even in the fight scenes, there's some derp moments, but you're like, okay, whatever. It's a giant dinosaur fighting a giant beetle. That's cool. But like,
I noticed especially in the last, again, I'm going to keep calling it Gundam, Matt and Tai's Gundam they make.
You can call it Omega
I was
Fawn.
trying really hard to get a screen cap of it so I can talk about the Gundam, but like it's like it's so bad. Like they never show it because it's supposed to be kind of mecha, so it's a more complicated drawing, I guess.
Yeah.
But when they show the full body, it's just like 4 lines and that's it. It's so bad.
but like it's one of those things that like most fans had. It was like a point of contention for most fans because I mean, when the redesigns of the characters came out, there were fan like redraws of how they should look like, and I have a slide, but I can't tell if it's up. It's basically a comparison of the new look versus what fans think it should look like, and like the eyes are bigger, like how they were in the original series. The hair is bigger, and the color is more saturated because they muted everything down for this. I was like, what were you guys thinking? But
so the internet got super mad.
yeah, the internet was super mad, and they're like, this is how you should do it. And they did a damn good job.
I mean, like, I don't care that the designs are different, like at all. Like that's fine. I think it's great. But if you're gonna change the designs, like, put some good animation in it. Like, come on.
Or, like, make them kind of look similar to what they look like. Because, like, everybody kind of looked, their eyes were super small. Like, I was like, why are they so small?
They're also, like, weirdly, like
they're very, like, super angled. And I'm like, what?
I kind of feel like, that's the style that is kind of popular now, and before it was very much like the style that was before, because they were like chibi versions of themselves, like giant eyes. It was very like Pokemon-esque, and I think they're trying to be like Kurd because they grew up and they're super mature, so they're trying to make it a mature anime.
Yeah, and I understand that, but like,
it's Digimon.
it still can't be a bag of dicks. Like
Yeah,
that's just
a
it
total
can't
bag
be.
of dicks.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful that the next movies will have, like, more of the kind of the hearts to what they...
funding.
Yeah, more funding, more color and hearts to what they used to wear. I mean, they had that moment with, like, Taichi and the goggles was kind of what he used to wear. And I was like, yeah, I get what you're trying to do, but you're, like, trying to force it. Like, they were just like...
So he had goggles in the original one, right? But
Yeah.
did they not do anything? They were just there?
They were just decorations.
So in this one, they gave the goggles purpose.
Yeah. But it seemed super forced.
Yeah. It was cute. I mean, at least they weren't exactly the same goggles.
Yeah.
They were a little different.
But yeah, but that was literally the worst part, and like because it's kind of like the first arc of it, they couldn't really focus on the rest of the characters. So like the main points of the whole movie was just kind of focused around Taichi and Yamato, or Matt. So it was kind of like, okay, well, all these other like children are kind of whatever. And
and especially the kids they might have killed at the beginning.
like
on chat right now. Who is this? Jedi Master says, is anyone going to address the fact that Davis and the other DigiDestined could be dead?
No, we talked about
we
that
talked
earlier.
about
We're
it
like,
in the
they
beginning.
see them and nobody's
Yeah.
like,
But hey, guys,
They just forgot about 'em.
there's 5 more movies we could get to them.
Yeah,
We never know.
yeah. That's why, guys, we just have to
don't
stay
think-
hopeful.
They could have a
I-
whole movie just about them. We don't know. There's 5 more movies.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's just like them talking about like maybe they're like stuck in a place or something, or maybe they are just dead and just like
I don't think
rotting
they
on
would
the
kill
floor.
them. I mean, this is
no, they
Digimon.
can't. They
Yeah.
can't die because there's an actual ending. There is a canon ending, and I have heard that this is actually canon. So
Oh.
this is a part of the whole mythos
Okay,
of
so
it.
then they aren't
So
dead.
they're
They're
not
just
dead.
somewhere. Okay, but that is the bad part of the nostalgia. The good is that, personally, yes, the nostalgia hella holds up. The whole like rearranging of the theme song, which you heard in the beginning of our show, that I literally like just heard like the beat of it and like I started tearing up as soon as I watched it, guys. No joke. I was like, oh my god. The way that they rearranged it, I liked it.
Yeah.
The 90s late 90s, early 2000s, it was like more rocky, I guess.
This is
'cause it was
more
of
upbeat.
Yeah, it was more of the time, but this one they slowed it down a bit.
It's a little bit more
And
melancholy.
it makes it match like the tone of the movie, but I really like the
Oh.
arrangement.
I didn't realize it was a different arrangement of the original song.
Yeah.
It's cute.
So it was
as just a song I heard for the first time, it was
Yeah.
actually kind of nice. I liked it.
What else is also good is that because there's a specific timeline, the technology that they show is actually from early 2000s. At first, it was super jarring because I was like, "Wait, what are they? What is this?" 'Cause
yeah, they had the
dude
phone
had
that
a
like
phone.
turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I used to have one of those in Japan.
Yeah, like everybody has like a SoftBank phone,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
and, like they're texting with like the keys, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, they really committed like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the technology, the designs of everything in the backgrounds. They had really great like watercolor backgrounds and like just really committed to the fact that they're supposed to be in this specific timeline and they can't do things that would be natural to us today.
And isn't it the worst when you're like, oh my god, look at these beautiful backgrounds, look at just like this atmosphere that they're putting together,
then you
just
shittily
have
draw
like this freaking derp ass motherfucker like just walk into your animation.
But this movie really played on the strengths of nostalgia because I felt it. I was very much like the entire time watching like, oh my god, it's back 1999. I used to watch this with my kid brother, who's 10 years younger than me, and so that's my whole like draw to it. And like it kind of was like, oh man, it's like coming home from high school and like turning it on and watching with him. So
I mean, I've kept up with the Digimon series, so I guess I didn't have like as much nostalgia as everyone. No, that's not true. I'm gonna take that back. I was super jazzed for this. I guess the whole thing is, I just don't necessarily like to bank on nostalgia.
It's hard.
It's a very hard lesson to learn, but I feel like, especially with a bunch of like comic book movies these days, Star Wars, all that stuff really does. Sometimes we use nostalgia as an excuse, and I was like, Digimon is a great series. But it's really hard to like look past some of that stuff. But the good thing that I think is that they've made this for the fans. It's very clear
Yeah,
that
it's
they
very
wanted
clear.
to add in as much as they could about the original into this. But I think that unfortunately does have its flaws because if it's too forced, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But I think the bad animation is definitely first, and then like the kind of tropey storyline, which Michelle will get into tropes.
Boom. So obviously this is anime. It's gonna have some tropes. We covered some earlier, such as the rival in love.
Yeah.
Good lord. So I didn't know that Sora and I didn't realize this wasn't a triangle before, and they're only just forcing the triangle now between Matt and Tai and Sora. But I caught that. I caught the little looks. He's Ty's like, hey, why are you talking?
Yeah.
Why are you inviting my
And-
girl on a weekend? What's happening?
And so just so you guys know, we are very like Taichi and Sora, and this
Tai
whole
X Sora.
Yeah, this whole like Sora and Yamato, I'm just like,
Yeah.
flip the table.
But they didn't show her.
OTP. Number one OTP.
But they didn't show her like choosing. She did the very, very tropey, typical thing. Like, what do you talk? Because what is it? Mimi says, "Oh, now you have two. Like, you better be careful, or you
Yeah.
gotta choose
Yeah.
one."
She's like,
She's
"What are
like,
you talking
"What?
about?"
I have never seen any boys ever."
I
So
mean-
just playing the "I don't know" card is very
Yeah.
tropey.
Like, let's just give it to Ty though, because it's like Matt could get a lot of girls
Yeah.
whenever he wants
He's
to.
in Knife of Day.
God, it's the most
Oh my
popular
God.
band in Odaiba.
But real quick on chat, Joseph Hampton said, "Chubby, Bunny, you need to drop more f-bombs. Yume and Super and Max are beating you." Oh my God, guys.
I only said the F word once.
I feel like I said it twice.
I think it's because I'm not a super fan of this, so I don't.
She's
I
not
don't have,
passionate
I don't have as
enough
many
about it.
as hard
Wait
feelings.
till we
We're
do
just
like
angry.
Sailor Moon or
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah, next week's gonna be rough. Anyway, so more tropes. The growing apart thing, which Max did cover a little bit. So in anime, it happens so many times where there's a graduation survey or a career survey, and the one kid can't fill it out because he doesn't want to leave his friends, and he can't decide about his future because it's so clouded, and then the whole the whole anime the episode's about him figuring out what he wants to do. This has happened in almost every anime about high school kids that I can think of.
Literally every single
one.
anime.
Like I could drop some
What
examples.
do I
but
do?
good Lord.
What do I do with my life? I don't know.
It's like when they were like, "Oh, they're gonna be third years," and I was like, "There's gonna be a career survey problem in this anime." I knew it.
A career survey, and then you see Joe just like studying away, avoiding battles. Poor guy.
Gotta get a job. Gotta get that corporate job.
And then I think it was kind of sad. He's trying to invite people to a soccer game, trying to act like it doesn't matter, but everyone's all, "Oh, can't make it. Oh, but it does matter."
I have to say that like the relationships between the siblings in this movie series is
Really
was really
cute.
cute. Like the part where like Takeru or TK is like. Where Yamato's like, "Oh, is it your girlfriend?" He's like, "Don't worry, I still love you the most." And I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
That was very adorable. So those guys, they're still close. Everyone's falling apart. Another great trope is you got to destroy a famous landmark or two.
Yeah.
So we mentioned Odaiba before, and that Ferris wheel. It's quite a popular tourist destination.
Yes.
You can. I think there's like a Toyota factory showroom there where you can like drive their cars around and stuff. And there's like all this. It's crazy. There's all these museums there. So that place got fucking destroyed. It is not there anymore.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
So in the first season, and this is also a ridiculous thing, they end up in Odaiba in exactly that same building, like inside the building. And one of the Digimon hijacks the television station, is like, "I am Miasmamon. Like, I am the worst Digimon in the world, and you should all worship me." He turns into like a 20-story monster.
Is he like Mudkips?
Yeah. It's ridiculous how like crazy he becomes, and they just all fight him in front of that television station. And so this is when everyone's just like surprised by Digimon.
Was it new, the building, when?
Huh?
Because I feel like in anime,
Oh, it's been there
like,
for ages.
Is it? Wait, it's like not.
No, but
It's
like,
still there,
was
right?
it new
In
at
real
the
life? Yeah.
Yeah.
In real
Was it like
in real life, yeah.
Was it new at the time that it was airing?
I mean, it's. I think it was built in like the mid '90s or something.
Yeah, because like you remember when everything happened at Tokyo Tower, and like
Oh,
now
yeah.
now it's Tokyo Skytree.
It's gotta be a Skytree. You
And so
gotta
like
destroy
I'm
that.
like, well, it's obviously there because it was like importantly
landmark,
new,
yeah.
and like everybody was excited about it.
But Fuji Television was also the people
Yeah,
that
that
did it
aired
to begin with, so they might have done it as a joke, and
They're
they're
like,
like, "We need a
eh."
place. I guess this looks fine." I mean, it's very unique. The architecture.
If
is.
you ever watch, I mean, it's because all the major television stations are based in Odaiba as well. So it's in a lot of production houses. So when you see when you watch live action Japanese dramas and stuff, the background is always Odaiba. They're like, we can't go this far from the studio. We'll just drive down the block and use this thing, even though you can see that damn bridge, Rainbow Bridge. If you start Googling it, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I see it and everything. All right, so moving along with tropes. What else do they do? Oh, no one believes that Joe has a girlfriend. Wah wah. There's
Wah,
always
wah.
some character who's
Believe
like,
me.
oh, my kanojo. They're like, no, you don't have
Whatever.
one.
Lies.
That was a cute comedic relief moment, though, because there was just this big fight before that.
yeah,
and
they were like, what?
that I didn't understand. I had to go back and rewind it a couple times. I'm like, what are they fighting about? I can't really figure it out. Because Taichi's thing was so dumb to me. And then also the best trope is there's a new transfer student who happens to live next
Miyako.
door to me and is also involved in my small world of what I'm fighting about in this
how
anime.
did this happen?
Because
So
if you're
weird.
gonna save the world, you all have to go to the same school,
Yeah.
probably the same class.
And she's also a DigiDestined.
She
which
is.
Makes...
They reveal at the end of the fourth episode. So her name is Meiko Mochizuki. They call her May. And then for some reason, her Digimon is also named May.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I was.
Because it's
so
I was like, that's so
lazy.
lazy. The full name of the Digimon is Meikomon.
But her name is also
May.
Mako.
Yeah. So way to go, guys. Lazy.
Yeah, maybe that's like the thing. They're like, "Oh, I'm Mako, you're Mako. We should be buddies."
I also kind of thought because Joe was super busy and wasn't basically in this anime at all, that May is going to kind of replace him as the Megane-chan, the glasses wearing
Yeah,
girl.
because she's like got black hair and glasses, just like Joe.
Yeah, she seems very like meek and no. All right, so I'm gonna move along and go into my noob reaction.
Ooh,
So
I've been
basically,
waiting for this.
Yes.
this maybe turned into a Q&A where we talked earlier before the show today, and I had so many questions because so much of the stuff's making sense.
Yeah. So for those of you watching, Max and I have watched this from its early,
Infancies.
Yeah. But Michelle had
call it
never
that.
seen Digimon until we watched Digimon Adventure Try.
And
So-
I googled it, I Wikipedia'd.
All right, Noob.
Yeah, sure, let's
Noob
do
away.
this.
So, I think one of the things I really liked about this anime was the Digimon are super cute.
Yes.
They start so cute and they have little voices, and like Mimi's Digimon has like the best little Mimi, like it's so cute.
Yeah.
I loved it. But how come when they transform, they turn into these gross, muscly exoskeleton? Like, ew, what the hell? Like,
Because that's
Is
their,
that-
that's their like adult
Because
form.
they're like badass.
yeah.
it's very. But are they supposed to look like Tamagotchi or whatever? But they're so
Well, I
ugly.
mean, Tamagotchi, Digimon are just basically another version of Tamagotchi, if you didn't know. And back when Tamagotchi was really popular, Digimon was also popular because you could battle them. And so the whole battling aspect of it is what turns them into these bigger monsters, right? So
Gross.
I will say that I've always hated God, what is Mimi's
Patamon?
Digimon? Yeah, it's a stupid cactus with boxing gloves. I was like, the fuck is this?
I know.
okay, but
That was
eventually,
so cute though. I look like a poor man's cactar though, to be
yeah,
fair.
it is true. If Cactar was like overweight and a bum,
But
yeah.
this is all written
Biomon?
down by the way. Biomon is this little cute chubby pink bird, and he turns into a red phoenix
She.
who's all like kind of gross and like too big.
and has
then,
teeth on her beaks.
There we
yes.
go, gross. And then Tentamon it starts out as like a cute little bug, like something out of Ultraman, and then
Yeah.
it turns into a big scary like mecha looking bug.
Kabuterimon.
Yeah.
Gross. It is.
It's pretty great.
It's like.
I don't like
I
that
love
one
them.
at all.
I was like, can we
That's
finish
my
the battle?
favorite
Because they
one.
have to go back to being cute. I don't like this shit. And another thing is, so stupid Angemon.
Angemon, yeah.
So in my head, there are certain rules about if you are this thing and you evolve, you should be the same kind of thing. And you try to explain to me, I actually still don't understand. So
Yeah.
Angemon is. It's something kind of normal looking, and then it turns into this basically a dude with an angel costume. Why is it a humanoid? What happens?
Because they're just humanoids. Okay, so the thing
then
about
it's got,
Digimon.
But it's not an animal
But it's
anymore.
got
Right.
it's the duo, right?
Yeah.
It's got like the little cat.
It's like
What are you talking about?
It's like
what cat?
okay, Gatomon, which
Okay.
is Anjouwomon, but the reason that Gatomon doesn't turn into Anjouwomon is because they can't ultimate form.
Huh?
So the way
But
that
why is
breaks
it a
down-
human? I don't understand why you're saying it's part cat.
Oh, there's no real reason for that except that that's just the way that they're designed. Like
Yeah.
it's like Monster Ranger, right? Like there's not necessarily like a rhyme or reason. It's just they have a monster and it can turn into a certain group of things. It's not
That's what I was expecting. Like Pokemon, Charmander turns into Charizard, and like he turns into a different,
Right.
bigger
Yeah.
version of the same animal. But these guys are like, I'm a totally different species. Boom, and that really
that
confuses
is
me.
something I always wondered. I was like, wait, why does Angemon get two people?
Because
like, he's one person, then he's two people.
He can be different. See, the whole thing is it's like they have different versions. There's like virus versions and like vaccine versions. And so basically the reason that Patamon can be Angemon, but he could also be a pile of shit. Like I'm
Yeah.
like literally he could be like the poop Digimon.
So moving right along though, I keep talking about the effing Gundams because the first Gundam we see is the bad guy comes out and he's like a fully formed Gundam. I'm like, what? Is there someone in it? Is this Voltron?
No, he's just the
And
big
then-
dude with the
and
armor.
then the two. And then I was like, oh, okay, the Digimon can combine
Yeah.
and turn into a
Fusion
guy in a
Digivolve.
suit with a giant gun arm, so they can turn into
Those-
other
by the
beings
way-
and have like weaponry on them. That's so confusing to me.
Those are also the heads of the respective Mega Pokemon. So in case you didn't realize that. So his
So it's just
arms are
Vol-
just heads.
Jesus Christ.
No, he is the coolest ever. He has no hands. He has
Yeah.
literally a sword and a gun. That's it.
It was very like Voltron and Power Rangers. I by that point I was like, so. Oh, and the other thing is, so Joe. Oh wait, who is his name? Matt and Ty were controlling the Gundam, and I'm like, but you're not really like yelling out commands or telling each other what you guys are gonna do. Like you're not really saying, hey, and then hit it again. You know, there's no like telepathy.
It's the
It's
not like
power.
it's not a
the
Sentai.
power of their feelings. Okay.
But they're very like I was like, why are you kids even here? You don't do anything.
It's the power of courage and friendship.
And then also when they're transforming, I thought it was the music was weird. Then I realized, oh, every time they
Transform,
pull
yeah,
their
that stupid riff.
digit thingies out, it goes. "Meow, meow." Why? Where is this guitar?
That literally, I have no clue where that comes from.
I have no
It doesn't even
answer.
do that. It doesn't even do that in the original series.
Oh,
They're just
really?
like, you don't want to be super tight, like guitar riff.
But it messes with the music a lot during the
It does.
because in the first episode there was like literally a 10-minute transformation sequence where all the stupid digipet things turn into the bigger versions of themselves, and it's just meow, meow, I'm gonna turn into blah 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 blah, and then just it takes forever. Oh my god, it's like watching the
every
Sailor Moon
time.
transformation
Yeah.
sequences.
There's like 5 or 6 of them too.
Oh, good
So
lord.
every time they're just like, and then after a second they're just like, again, and it's like, just take it out. You could just have the words. They can just announce themselves.
Yeah.
Tribute to Sam from Clarissa Explains It All.
What?
What?
You ever watch Clarissa Explains It All?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he would come in, they'd have the guitar riff.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's probably where it's from.
Totally.
That's
The
just
Japanese
Clarissa.
people that are like super
This
big
makes
fans
sense.
of that.
So they just anyway when they go transform, it's like and it really messes with the whole sequence of things.
Yeah, it does.
And then as a noob though, I didn't hate it. This is certainly not level of Expelled from Paradise for me.
Oh
'cause
god.
I always compare everything to that terrible anime, but it was enjoyable. I kind of am like, why is it so long though? And I did feel like I was missing out on some nostalgia. However, like I said, the animals were super cute, and I was just like, oh, when I saw them, because without having any background, I still thought they were adorable. And the stupid reunion with when the one Digimon Gomamon
with Joe.
yeah, when he finds Joe and is like, Joe, and he kind of starts like crying a little bit, and they hug. I started crying, and I don't even know who these characters are. I
Yeah,
just
you
started
don't even have the
crying.
It's just you just know that they're
I just
the
like cute
bestest
little
of friends.
animals.
So then,
Yeah.
what would you rate it out of 5?
Out of 5, I don't know. I feel I can't rate it because it's not really done. You know, it's just episode 1 through 4, movie 1. I don't know, like a 4, 3. 4's too high. 3.5.
3.5.
I don't know. I didn't understand like half.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like, who
guess.
are these kids? What are these things? How come their names are so long? Why are there Gundams? Why is this guy a He-Man? I don't know.
Yeah, the entire time she's watching, she's like messaging me. She's like, "Hey, what does this do? Why is it like this?" And like,
That's
I
a
was
lot of questions. There's like
Yeah.
kind of no answers for it
And
until
so,
you've
like-
seen it.
And so I saw this in like both Japanese and the American edit, which is heavily edited, but I've only seen bits and parts of both. And so I was like, well, I don't think I watched that episode where that was important.
Rough.
Me though, I think out of 5, I would give it a 4, just because I'm super biased and I loved this because I'm so invested in it.
But why'd lose that 1 star?
It lost that 1 star for the shitty fucking animation.
We know.
It's really bad.
It was so bad.
A lot of people in our chat were saying the same thing. They're like,
Yeah.
I watched episode 1 and 2 and I couldn't get past it because it was just so bad.
It was, yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Toei.
It's really hard.
You?
I would say I'd give it a 4 too. And the reason I give it a 4 is even though the story is like a little bit different, I think what they do really well is show the emotional like impact and relationship between them and the Digimon. Like it's super important. Like you
Yeah.
can tell. Like you were saying when Goemon and Joe like they meet up and like they're
Yeah, they're
crying
so
and
happy,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like these are their very dear friends. Like
Cool that they can talk, like
Yeah.
actually use
Yeah,
words.
because they have like words and personalities, and
And
you
they're
get
very
invested in the
affectionate, yeah.
relationships between the kids.
And that's what was always important about the first season and the second season. So the fact that they were able to kind of like encapsulate that and even actually emphasize it more is, I think they've done a very good job. Too bad that animation is a bag of dicks.
Yeah, that animation.
Bag of dicks with the capital dicks.
Yeah. Capital D.
Capital
So I
big
guess for
D.
you guys, you're huge fans of Digimon. What did you like better growing up? Was it Digimon or Pokemons?
I love Digimon.
I love Digimon, like hands down.
And you know, Pokemon definitely has like that relationship of like, you know, hey, we're buddies and we're fighting or whatever. But like when Digimon get hurt, they express it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they
little guys.
you know, like Pokemon is like we have all these Pokemon and they go and they leave and they're like whatever. You basically use them and then they
They're
toss
like
them
just
for
your
better
little monster
versions.
slaves in balls.
Yeah. But
That's
then
true. They are just little slaves.
Yeah.
They don't eat or drink or anything.
But Digimon have always been companions.
Yeah.
You know? And so they never go and trade off for the better version
Yeah.
of it. It's always just that one.
They're very like an
that's nice.
important part of the main cast.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out something disturbing. Jedi Master mentions that humans can turn into Digimon in season 4.
Yes, they
the
can.
hell is that?
They go into the Digi world, and so what they do is they basically take the essence or the spirits of whatever Digimon, and they become that. Or they're like little totems. They don't actually have Digimon, they become Digimon. But that one's a lot more involved in like digital worlds. So it creates very interesting environments, I think.
Did not see that season, I think.
know
That's the fourth
if I like all these rules being twisted around and broken.
Well, I mean,
It's like English. There's an exception to every rule.
I think it's because with the anime, you know, it's kind of like I had this experience when I started playing MMOs for the first time. I have all these expectations, like these are rules that exist in X kind of land. So for me, all the rules I'm thinking of are for Pokemon. So I'm like, okay, Pokemon are Pokemon. They turn into different versions of themselves. And then when I watch Digimon, all these rules are being totally just like, bleh, whatever. They could be humans, people, you know, butt cheeks, and like whatever. Like I'm like, they talk, and I was just like, what the hell?
You have to think about Digimon like you would think about Gundam, the series, right? There's like a certain level of
I don't think about
continuity.
Gundams. Sorry, guys.
That's fighting words.
I know.
But you know, it's every season has like a different interpretation. It's like a beloved franchise. You know, people want to. They've grown up with it, and they want to make their own interpretation of it. So.
I don't know. Every time we see a loose interpretation of their own thing, we get stuff
Right.
like the Attack on Titan live action movie.
Sure. Then sometimes you got to throw down that fucking too much.
There's got to be rules. There has to be
interpretation
there has to be like limitations on people and characters.
It's the whole
but-
too many liberties.
Too many
many liberties.
Not too many liberties.
Were there,
Remember.
were there too many liberties with this one? Do you guys think it was besides the whole Sora and Matt thing?
No, I mean that's I wouldn't say that.
I don't even think that's a liberty.
Yeah,
like
it's
because
not.
it's like they made the decision and then it's canon, so it's like I don't agree with it.
I'm really hoping that like Tai has a love interest, because I personally, if they like retcon it and they're like, you know that thing, like that doesn't happen. It's just kind of weird that like Tai and Sora's children look like Matt's children. Like if they did that, I'd be like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Oh, so they've already showed them as adults?
Yeah, the end of the
Oh.
second season is basically the digital world, and there's travel between the digital and the real world,
Yeah.
and they're all adults.
They're all adults.
Oh, what the hell?
And they have children, and they introduce their children to Digimon.
So we already know how it ends.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we know
So
how
they
it
have-
ends. This is just like
Yeah.
the gap.
Is May in there at all? Miko?
So that's what I'm thinking, is that
yeah.
Mako is actually Tai's love interest in this, and so that's how they kind of work Mako in.
Yeah.
Are they is everyone coupled up at the end when they're adults?
If Mako does, then in a way they're all coupled up, or at least the important relationships are coupled
Like,
up.
but I'm saying, do they show like Mimi and
No,
Oh,
Mimi and Joe and them all have different like spouses. The only one that's weird is
doesn't work out for anybody.
Kairi and TK end up being together. So
But I
that
mean that's
happens.
obvious in
That's
this
obvious,
too.
yeah.
Like the whole like Takeru and
yeah,
Kind
you
of.
know, it's like, you have a girlfriend? It's like, no, I don't have a girlfriend.
you
She's just
jealous,
a friend.
like-
No. You're gonna get married anyway.
Very
yeah.
cute. Well, so overall, it was satisfying for you guys.
It was very
It
satisfying
was great.
for me.
I mean, I liked it. I loved it.
Well, look forward to another set of those episodes next spring. This spring.
Yeah.
March
March.
2016.
So
Get on
Yeah.
Crunchyroll if you
another
haven't
4
seen it
episodes.
yet.
Yeah, come on, guys.
It's
It's
very
like
interesting.
you just gotta like break through that whole
Yeah.
shitty animation.
They got a lot. They got a lot behind the shitty shell of dicks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Next week we'll be covering
We will be covering Sailor Moon S. Hearts in Ice.
Christmas episode, so we might be
Christmas,
dressed up. You
guys.
never know.
Jonathan will be back with us next week, and we will be on Tuesday night.
Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So tune in then.
Yeah.
I am Chubby Michelle. You can find me at I am Chubby Bunny.
And I am Yumin Ninja. You can find me.
She forgot.
And I'm Maxwell Song, and you can find me at Super Attack. With
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.